This is LeVar Moore.
And this is Mitchell Fink. This is Hoop Tech, coming to you straight from the beautiful campus of Oregon Institute of Technology.
Here at Hoop Tech, we discuss everything basketball, from the NBA playoffs to the draft coming this June. Here, everything basketball is up for discussion.
All right, LeVar. So the finalists for the MVP came out yesterday. We got Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double. We got James Harden, the Beard. And last but not least, the robot Kawhi Leonard from the Spurs. How are you feeling about these final three?
That sounds about right to me, Mitch. How do you feel about it?
I mean, there's an obvious glaring problem with no LeBron.
Okay.
So we got most likely the best player in the planet not on the final three list.
You got to understand, it's a regular season award. I'm not denying that LeBron is the best player, head and shoulders above everyone. But if you look at those three he stacked up against, Kawhi Leonard dominated this year. He's the best two-way player in the game. That can't be denied. James Harden almost averaged a triple-double. Took his team from the number 7th or 8th seed, I believe, to almost the top team in the West. And then Russell Westbrook, historic season, averaging a triple-double. LeBron, what did he do this year? He's finished second, which is very respectable. But he finished behind the Celtics team, who window of championship wasn't for the next 3 or 4 years. So I would say he underachieved.
I think you're right in a regular season sense, but you got to remember this man has a career high in three-point percentage this year, career high in rebounds and assists, while still averaging his 26 points per game. This man is doing things this postseason that we've never seen anybody do at 34 points per game, over a steal, around 9 rebounds and 9 assists. He's doing things that are greatness. We're witnessing greatness every single night he steps on the court. I just think that in the final three, you got to have LeBron in there. You got to have the best player in the world in the final three.
I agree, but once again, I have to reiterate, it's a regular season award. If the playoffs took into account if the playoffs were taken into account for the MVP, then LeBron would run away with it. He has by far dominated and had the best postseason we've probably seen since the days of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. But he did not have a better season than those three finalists, and I think that the reporters got it right.
Yeah, I guess I could see how the regular season, you can't really top those 3 seasons right there. Those are all 3 historic seasons. Kawhi Leonard may not be the stat guy that's going to pop out, but when you watch him, you do see MVP finals in him. And the other 2, you see stats that are going to lead you to MVP finals. So I agree on that point. But also, All-NBA first, second, and third teams came out a couple of days ago as well.
And LeBron James received the second team vote, which to me is more of a ridiculous statement than him coming in fourth for the voting. How do you feel about that, Mitchell?
Man, that is crazy. That's so disrespectful to LeBron James. Whoever is voting LeBron on second team needs to be off the ballot voting for the remainder of their careers. This is just absurd.
I agree, but did you also hear about the 2 snubs that didn't make any teams the first, second, or third? Paul George is one of them, and Gordon Hayward. A lot of people are up in arms about this.
Yeah, a lot of people think that they deserve to be on even second team, maybe third team for sure, and they're also missing out on both of them. They're getting that veterans salary cap next year. They're missing out on around $30 million each for their next salary.
But what's more interesting to me is Kyrie Irving. I don't see how he didn't make any one of the teams. This guy has boosted his scoring average from 19.6 to 25.2 this year. He's up in assists as well. For his career, he's 5.5, but now he's up to 5.8, closer to 6. I don't understand how time and time again he gets overlooked. I understand LeBron James is the greatest player in the world, but you cannot deny Kyrie Irving is one of the most prolific point guards in the world as well.
Man, that guy is so good. He gets overlooked just because he's with LeBron, just like how Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh got overlooked in Miami. But This man is one of the best scorers in the league. Nobody's standing in front of him. Nobody can guard him. Nobody's going to stop him in the fourth quarter. He's shown us time and time again that he's cold-blooded. This man is just an all-around great basketball player. And one thing that no one ever talks about is his defense. I mean, this guy's going up against Isaiah Thomas in the Eastern Conference Finals. This man averaged 29 points per game, led his team to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference over LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and the Cavaliers.
Wow.
And Kyrie Irving's just shutting him down. He averaged 29 points per game. In Game 2, he put up 2 points.
Yeah.
2 points from one of the best scorers in the NBA.
Kyrie is a very improved defender. We saw that last year when he went head-to-head with Stephen Curry. Back-to-back MVP, 72-9 as a team, one of the best records, and he just went up head-to-head and just competed. And, like I said, I just don't understand why Kyrie Irving continues to be overlooked. I think we both are in agreement that he's probably the most underrated player in the NBA.
Exactly. Just like what you said, man, this guy's a competitor, and that's what he does every single night, and that's why he's getting better and better every single year.
All right, with that, we'll take a little break, and we'll be right back. But this time, we'll be talking about the Western Conference.
At Samsung, we've developed our most explosive product ever. Introducing the Galaxy Note 7, a phone so hot, it will literally burn a hole in your pocket. Have you ever been at a concert and you don't know whether to wave your lighter or your phone? Well, now, you can do both. Our new phone is so good, it's spreading like wildfire.
Do not buy this phone. It almost burned down my house.
Yeah, but it didn't actually burn down, did it?
Okay, technically it didn't completely burn down.
Another satisfied customer. The Galaxy Note 7. The only phone that, as the kids say, is totally lit.
All right, and we're back with Hoop Tech. LeVar and I are going to move over to the other side of the conversation of the NBA playoffs and talk about the Warriors, because really, who else is there to talk about in the playoffs in the Western?
Nobody to talk about. I think this series has showed the utter dominance. They're very fortunate in Game 1 that Kawhi went down, but either way, I still felt they would have made a running to come back, and I just can't wait to the finals.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm saying if Kawhi Leonard's back in the series, it's completely different. They're going back 1-1, most likely. I'd say close to 100% they're winning that game if they keep Kawhi. And I'm honestly on the Spurs side of this with Popovich and Kawhi Leonard. I think that they make a series out of this, and they might take it in 6, win it at home against the Warriors.
I definitely think that it will win 5. It's just too much firepower. You have Draymond Green. He just averages about 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 10 points per game. We talk about Russell Westbrook, but Draymond almost averaged a triple-double himself. Then you got KD, arguably the second-best player in the world. Stephen Curry, back-to-back MVP, almost averaging 30 points a game this playoffs. It's just too much firepower. So I think they would have stole Game 1, but ultimately I think that it would have been over in 5.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to agree to disagree with you there. I think the Spurs are a lot better team than people are giving them credit for. I mean, Danny Green is a great defender. He gets overlooked on the defensive end of the ball every single year. Kawhi Leonard, like you said, the best two-way player in the NBA. They could not stop him. They didn't have somebody to guard him. They got players like David Lee coming off the bench who was playing well, but of course he got hurt as well. And DeJounte Murray coming off the bench was bringing a spark. They had a lot of things going for them. I think it would have been a good series.
Ultimately, I still stand on my two. I still stick with my point. I think the series would have been over in 5, but I can see how things would have been real interesting if Kawhi wasn't hurt. So the Warriors are definitely fortunate that he got injured.
All right, so let's look forward. Obviously, they're going to most likely sweep this series. So we got the Warriors and the Cavs, both undefeated so far in the playoffs. Who are you going with in the finals, and why?
I am going with the Warriors in 5. I think they have too much firepower. I think the Cavs, although LeBron is the best player in the world, the Warriors just have too much. They have a starting 5 that is better than any starting 5 in the league. They can defend at a higher rate than Cleveland Cavaliers can. They can shoot the 3-ball better than Cleveland, and their bench is deeper than Cleveland. So I cannot see them this series going past 5 games. How about you?
I mean, I'm completely on the other opposite side of you on this one. I think the Cavs are going to take this in 6. I think it's going to go a little bit longer, but the Cavs are just too dangerous. I mean, when you got players like Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith, Kyrie Irving, Iman Shumpert, Kevin Love, Darren Williams, all these guys that surround LeBron James for 48 minutes, I mean, they can really keep 4 shooters on the court at all times if they want to around LeBron James. And we all know LeBron can guard 1 through 5. So, I mean, you can put 4 shooters around this man, and they're still going to be solid on defense. They're still going to be solid on offense.
I think the Warriors can match that. Once you start with Stephen Curry, you got Klay Thompson. Those 2 guys are the Splash Brothers, the best 2 shooters we've probably ever seen. Then you got Kevin Durant. You add him, who can shoot almost just as well. Then you have Draymond Green, who is a point forward. I remind you, he's averaging almost 8 assists. That's more assists than Kyrie Irving, who's only averaging at 5, and he's a point guard. And then you put Andre Iguodala And Andre Iguodala actually won the MVP a couple years ago because he did a good job on LeBron James. So I think they can match their firepower.
Man, yes, Andre Iguodala got MVP a couple years ago for being LeBron, but you got to remember LeBron was without Kevin Love. He was without Kyrie Irving, and it was his first year back in Cleveland. We all know how hard it is to go back and win the first year. So, I mean, you got both those out, and this man was given the MVP for holding LeBron to 36 points per game in that finals. Like, he was the MVP for holding him to 36. That's how you know it's scary. And now you got Kyrie Irving back, you got Kevin Love back, and they have a lot more to build around. So
but historically, LeBron is around a 50% shooter, and although he averaged a lot of points, you cannot deny that Iguodala held him to the low 40% shooting and the high 30s, and that's not typical for LeBron at all. I think that's one of the first time in his careers where he shot around those percentages. So I just think Warriors have just as much offensive firepower, and they're a better defensive team. They're actually, I believe, second in the NBA at defensive efficiency, holding their opponents to less than 42% a game.
I think it's safe to say that this series is going to be one of the most competitive, one of the best in NBA playoffs history, wouldn't you say?
I would. The ratings are definitely going to reflect that.
So, all right, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back, move over to the NBA draft, and we're going to give our take on what's going to happen.
$20 secure phones to assist in staying anonymous? $5,000. Fighting legal cases across 5 countries? $1 million. Upkeep of servers in over 40 countries? $200,000. Donations lost due to banking blockade? $15 million. Added cost due to house arrest? $500,000. Watching the world change as a result of your work? Priceless. There are some people who don't like change. For everyone else, there's WikiLeaks. To find out more about WikiLeaks' financial blockade and how to donate, please visit wikileaks.org/support.html.
All right, we're back with Hoop Tech, and we got a caller right now. We got star forward from the Oregon Tech Owls, Tyler Heave, number 4. So, Tyler, we got a consensus number 1 and 2 between Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball. Who are you going with your draft pick?
Honestly, I'm not going to take either Lonzo or Fultz at number 1 because they already have a guard at time. So, go with Jason Tatum because he's kind of what they need, a 3. They need a good small forward to go along with Isaiah Thomas and Avery Bradley. Lonzo Ball brings too much baggage with him, with his dad, LeVar, and Markelle Fultz could even lead his Washington team to the national tournament. So I'm going to take Jason. He comes from a great program at Duke, and I think he'll fit well with this up.
All right, thank you for your take. Tyler, we'll talk to you later.
All right.
That's a very interesting take, and I can't say he's wrong. You know, the Celtics already has a point guard. He's second-team All-NBA. But if you're not going to take Lonzo or Fultz, you have to trade down. You know, you have players on the free agency market like Gordon Hayward and Paul George that can be a bigger help to try to take down LeBron. You cannot take Jason Tatum. His upside is questionable at best. We don't know if he's going to be a prolific player or if he's going to be able to guard the 3 position. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure if the Celtics even need to keep this pick. They have the number 1 pick, then the number 1 seed. If I'm them, I'm looking to shop this around, see what I can bring in. They struggle at the 3 and 4. Their forwards are both pretty suspect. I think that I'm trading my pick if I'm the number 1 with the Celtics, and I'm going to try to go pick up a 3 or 4 that's a little bit better, a little bit more polished, a player that's asserted himself in this league and doesn't have any questions around him.
So let me ask you something, Mitch. If you're the Celtics, who's your number 1 priority this summer? Is it Hayward or George?
If I can get Paul George, I'm getting Paul George. But he can shoot the 3. He's a prolific scorer. He's pretty much exactly what they need. Gordon Hayward would fit in as well, but I think that's a little bit more likely. So what do you think about that?
You know, as a Celtics fan, I'm hoping we get both. The only dilemma I have, I think we can actually get both. I think it's going to be hard for the Lakers to sell playing the Golden State Warriors for the next 5 to 7 years, I think you have a better chance of teaming up with Gordon Hayward at Boston and taking out LeBron, because although LeBron's the best, he's at the end of his career, and you can hope to catch him on his downside. But do you think they can play together? Do you think Hayward and George can play together?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that they would both have to take pay cuts as well if they wanted to both go play in Boston as well, but I think they could play together for sure. They're both great passers. They're both unselfish players. That's their best shot at taking down LeBron in the Eastern Conference, and if that's their goal, and end of the day, it might be what happens. You never know.
That would be interesting to see what the Celtics do with their pick. You know, this series is looking bad for them. Isaiah Thomas out. They got a lot of decisions to make moving forward to June. But I got a question. Give me a pick that not many people are talking about, somebody that is under the radar, but you think will have a big impact next year and the following years of their career.
You know, a player that sticks out to me is Jordan Bell from the University of Oregon.
Okay, Homer.
He's 6'9". He has one of the best verts, one of the best side-to-side agility testing at the NBA Combine. This man is built to play in defense in the NBA. He's built to players like Dennis Rodman, players like Serge Ibaka. They're not great scorers. Serge is a little bit better now, but he's going to come in, block shots, he's going to get rebounds, and he's going to play defense pretty much from 2 through 4. He can play pretty much whoever he wants, so that's my sleeper. Who are you looking at?
The Serge Ibaka, before I tell you my sleeper, the Serge Ibaka comparison is interesting because I kind of saw that comparison, but the only question I have, do you think he can at least stretch his range like Serge did to open up the floor for some people to drive?
Yeah, I think that's the question with him. So if he can kind of buckle down and work on that mid-range jump shot, by 3 or 4 years into his career, have that jumper in his bag, man, I think he's going to be a great player. He's going to be someone that you're going to want on your side of the ball whenever you're playing.
I hear you. My sleeper is Jonathan Isaac. He's not too much of a sleeper. He's still projected to be in the lottery, which is the first 12 picks in the NBA draft. But I think this guy can be the next Kevin Durant. I know that's a far-fetched thing, but if you look at their frame and the way they play the game, they're very similar. Of course, he'll have to get a little more athletic and put some weight on his frame, but I think he did very well this year for a freshman. And I think he would have did better if he didn't have Dwayne Bacon that took 2 times as many shots as he did this season, but he had to take the back seat because he was a freshman. But I think he did a good job.
Yeah, I agree with you saying here. Like, Fultz at Washington kind of had the green light to do whatever he wanted, put up 23 points per game. You think Jonathan Isaac could have done the same thing if he was in a situation like that?
I actually do. I don't think he would have scored as much, but I think since he's 6'10", he would have impacted more on the defense side of the ball, and I think he would have. It would have been a better offense because when you run things from inside out, you're able to get higher percentage shots and affect the game more.
All right. Another player I know that you're interested in, Dennis Smith. Where do you think he's going to fall in this draft?
That's tough. I don't know. I don't know, anywhere between 5 to 9. I think in that range. I think he needs to go somewhere where he can be the leader of a team. I think he has the opportunity to be similar to a player like Russell Westbrook. I don't know if he'll ever have the athleticism or the drive that he has, but I think he has the talent and some of the athletic ability to do the same things Russell Westbrook is doing.
Yeah, I think he could really go to a team like the Orlando Magic and hook up with some younger players, or even the New York Knicks, and make a big impact right away. He's a player that could go 5 or 6, 7, 5 to 9, like you said, and have a huge impact, which sometimes isn't very likely.
Before we head out, quick question. Do you think Ball will be able to live up to the pressure, especially the added pressure that's being added on by all the antics of his father?
Man, I mean, for him to live up to the pressure his dad's putting on him, he's really got to be better than Jordan. He's got to be better than LeBron by the end of his career. His dad's talking about how they can sell shoes for more expensive than Michael Jordan because they're not long to the ball. His dad is just setting him up from failure. I think on the side of marketing, they're making money, they're doing their own thing, and I respect it. They're going on their own way. But at the end of the day, you got to let your son make his own career, and you got to take the back seat and let your son have this shine.
I agree. I think there's a fine line between being a loving father and being a lunatic, and I think LeVar is pushing that line. And I just hope Lonzo can just focus on what he has to do and not let his dad become a further distraction. That's that, and we enjoy talking hoops with you here. Mitchell and I will be back with more Hoop Tech as the week come along. Remember, guys, ball is life.